Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be reacting to a video uploaded by JetroYT. I'll leave a link in the description below, and let's get into it.
For almost 10 years, GTA Online and modders have basically gone hand in hand, and most people blame the PC version for that reason. But unless you were playing at the time, many players won't know that the Xbox 360 and PS3 era was by far the most broken period in the game's history, and most of the mayhem was caused by one singular modder. This one man discovered DNS codes. He modded in Heist before Rockstar, and at one point, he even had backdoor access to Rockstar's game files, giving him the power to delete every mission from GTA Online for everyone. This is the controversial history of ECB2, GTA Online's most infamous modder. The Xbox 360 and PS3 era of GTA Online is the time I truly enjoyed the most in the game's history. No flying bikes, no armored vehicles, no orbital cannon obliterating me from anywhere on the map. The game was much more grounded and GTA-like than it is today. But in December of 2013, all of that would change when a man simply known as ECB2 would join the community. From the start, he was interested in how he could abuse the little security that GTA Online and even the consoles at that time had, and he became very good at it. This would become extremely apparent when just a few months later, he would discover the DNS code exploit. I won't go into it fully here because I've already made an entire video dedicated to this topic and how monumental this discovery really was. But needless to say, this exploit was the most game-breaking glitch that has ever been discovered for GTA Online.
Look at that. That is crazy. I wish we could rob a store and get that much money now. I would rob one and retire. That's crazy. Wow.
For some brief context, there is one file responsible for almost every multiplier in GTA Online called Tunables.json. Money, RP, car prices, health, the list goes on. And ECB2 found a way to modify this file in almost any way he wanted. He changed cars to become essentially free. Robbing a convenience store would earn you $1 billion, and you could get level 1000 from doing just one singular race. And the
Really? One race? Rockstar, come on, man.
Best part was that anyone could do it. This is what many people remember from the DNS code exploit. But one thing that I didn't know about when making my original video was these DNS codes were used for a lot more than just money and RP. How he was able to do it, we may never know. But when ECB2 had originally discovered the DNS code exploit, it's believed that he was able to gain backdoor access into Rockstar's files, giving him full access to unreleased or unfinished content within these files. While surfing around these files, he was able to discover a beta build for the long-awaited heist that Rockstar had promised us all the way back in August of 2013. Using methods that have since become lost to time, ECB2 was able to add these files to a special DNS created by him and FunMW2, and created a working build of the Pacific Standard heist over a year before it would officially be released.
Really? A year? Wow. Great security. Great security. Wow.
This exploit caused massive problems for Rockstar at the time. Many people who played the heist were angry at how basic the heist really was, and even more people thought it was fake for that exact reason. However, because it was just a beta build, this heist didn't actually pay you any money, and ECB2 only added it to give people a taste of what was to come when Rockstar would finally release the heist for real. And lo and behold, when the heist would actually get released on March 10th of 2015, it was essentially a one-to-one match of the heist that Rockstar released even a year after we had played the beta. In hindsight, Rockstar was really lucky that a lot of people had stayed away from this DNS due to being worried about losing their account. Ultimately, this update would still go on to save GTA Online, so luckily for Rockstar, it all worked out in the end. But this had proved that ECB2 had some sort of access to Rockstar's back end that no one else had, and he would prove this once more just a couple months later. For 2014, ECB2 would once again show us just how much access he had to Rockstar in GTA Online's back end, and he would show us in quite a funny way. If you happened to log on to GTA Online that day and went to go play the criminal records race, you may have noticed a slight change. ECB2 had hacked into the Rockstar network and changed criminal records to instead be called Criminal Doge. Not only that, but he had also changed the description of the race to promote his own Twitter. Although it was quite funny, this was also crazy. How is it that someone was able to change the details of a race for everyone? Well, after doing a bit more research, it turns out that that's not all that he was able to do. Using ECB2's own words, I could have deleted all races, but I kind of respect Rockstar and their work in some way, so I did not do that. I have access to the full account holdings of all of GTA's races. Whether or not he was able to delete every single GTA race, no one will ever know. But he did leave a note in his video saying, I reported this to Rockstar instantly and it was patched ASAP. I do not have any interest in harming Rockstar. And sure enough, this kind of backdoor access has never been seen again, so I'm inclined to believe that what he says is true, especially given everything else that he's been able to do. So to quickly recap, over the last 4 months, ECB2 has destroyed GTA Online's economy, stole the hype away from Rockstar's heist by adding one early, and gained backdoor access to Rockstar and could have deleted all of their races. Judging from that alone, this is already enough to get him put on some Rockstar hit list. Absolutely. And just when you think he can't possibly mess with Rockstar anymore, I thought I'd list off some of the other not so major but definitely still contributions to the GTA community. The one that most people are probably familiar with and might unlock a memory for are his various modded missions. These modded missions he made were very popular back in 2014, and they gave you access to vehicles you wouldn't normally be able to obtain in a deathmatch. Space dockers, blimps, jumbo planes, skylift, and even a UFO, just to name a few. Unfortunately though, none of these jobs are playable today, as Rockstar has since banned all of his modded missions. Not only did he make modded missions, but he also made a mod menu. ECB2's VCA Hacks client was one of the most popular mod menus at the time, but for a very disturbing reason. ECB2 was actually forced to release this menu after another modder had got his hands on it through ECB2's supposed friend. This modder then began threatening to both dox and SWAT ECB2 if he didn't provide him with updates to the menu. So ECB2 knew that the only way he could avoid this was to release the menu online for free. However, due to this, his mod menu became a little too popular. For about a week, this caused an epidemic in GTA Online where players were spawning in mass amounts of UFOs on the map, causing huge problems for anyone playing GTA Online for a short period before eventually getting patched. Aside from this mod menu, however, ECB2 was also one of the leading people in the community who was able to figure out DLC info before anyone else. He correctly predicted everything coming to GTA Online with the Flight School update, the Not a Hipster update, and the High Life update. And quite literally, every leak he listed eventually came true. In fact, ECB2 was the first person to confirm that we would be getting high-end apartments in GTA Online. And many players won't know this, but ECB2 was actually the first person to discover the single-player vehicle to online exploit, which was a very popular glitch that was being used in the earliest days of online. And finally, in early 2015, ECB2 would leave his final mark on the community by releasing his infamous Tunables editor. Shout out to one of my viewers, Ryan Unleashed, and I hope I said that right, but he was nice enough to explain to me exactly what this Tunables editor did. Basically, like I mentioned with the DNS codes earlier, this program allowed you to hijack the Tunables file used for all of the game's values, and he even released a list of all the possible changes that could be made, so you can essentially edit your own game. You want snowfall in the middle of summer? Edit the Tunables file with the right code, and boom, snow in July. Wanted DLC vehicles not available anymore? Well, you could do that too. ECB2's final contribution was an easy way for players to do exactly what he's been doing for all these years. And in a way, it's kind of the perfect send-off, as after this editor was released, ECB2 would never release another mod or exploit for GTA Online ever again.
Wow. You know, ECB2 may have been inadvertently one of the reasons Rockstar has pushed its content the way it has. And this guy was the OG. He was the original. He was the one that made mod menus a thing. And yeah, that's insane. That's crazy. But that's what the video is today, you all, and I appreciate you stopping in and checking it out. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.